Is Medellin safe in 2026? I walked the streets for 15 minutes to show you what to avoid and how to stay aware. Most tourists miss these warning signs. This could save you from making a costly mistake. Alright guys, my name is Ivan, and in this video we're going to be discussing, is Medellin safe to visit? Is it safe to live? And overall, the answer to the question is going to be yes. Now, I've been living here now for about 2.5 years, and I've been visiting Medellin since probably 2014. And now once nor ever have I felt threatened, have I felt insecure, have I felt not safe. However, there's a big however, especially lately, there's been a lot of crime has been going up. Now, there's a lot of news, I'm sure, that doesn't make it to the States or doesn't make it abroad. But this video is basically to make awareness, right? So if you're visiting Medellin, yes, it's safe to bring your wife, your kids, your girlfriend. Overall, you're going to have an amazing experience. Medellin is just full of stuff you can do. There's rivers, there's waterfalls, there's art, there's music, there's nightlife. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. However, it's very important to be aware of your surroundings, right? And there's a saying that they say here, the paisas, the people from Medellin say, is no dar papaya. And basically that means is don't flaunt or be showing off your belongings or your pricey things. I always recommend, listen, this video is I'm going to give you some few tips, and I can go on for hours, but I'm going to make this pretty brief and right to the point. There are steps you can take to avoid being a target, right? One is going to be your phone, your iPhone 17. You have to take in consideration an iPhone 17 here in Medellin in Colombia runs about 6 million pesos, give or take. That is 3 months of the minimum wage. So somebody would have to work for 3 months, 6 days a week, and not pay anything else. Just take those 3 months to pay for that phone, right? So in reality, it would probably take the average Colombian 6 to 8 months if he wanted to purchase an iPhone 17, right? So when you're out in the streets, and I see it all the time, and if I can see it, believe it or not, you better believe that that other person can see it. And I always see it where there's a lot of tourists and a lot of Europeans and Americans, and just because you're in El Provenza or you're in El Poblado or you're in El Tesoro and you're in the areas where it's more the higher end, you still can be a target. And I always see people on their phones, not paying attention and all into their phones. And next thing you know, just like that, somebody comes behind you, swipes your phone, jumps on a motorcycle, and you'll never see that thing again. Right? So be aware of your surroundings. Another thing is excessive jewelry and expensive watches. I've seen people with $10,000 Rolexes and chains and diamonds and diamond rings. And listen, leave all that at home or lock it in your safe. I personally would suggest just leave that stuff at home. There's no reason why you should be carrying or wearing a $10,000 watch here in Colombia, whether it be Medellin, Cali, Bogota, or anything. Don't know that papaya. I'm going to repeat that phrase a few times in this video. Know that papaya, and be aware of your surroundings. It's very important, right? So another tip I'm going to give you is when you go shopping and you go to malls, I would suggest bring a book bag. Bring something where if you purchase anything, you can put it inside a bag and conceal it from, hey, I shopped at H&M, or I was at the Apple store, or I was at the Velez store, wherever. Nobody's going to see what you're purchasing, right? So that's just being precautious and being aware of your surroundings, right? So another tip I'm going to give you is getting into taxis. Now, for the most part, taxis are safe. They are safe. However, I do recommend using Uber or using InDrive. Now, these apps will give you a code, so when the driver shows up, you have to give him a code, and he'll access the ride. And make sure they repeat the address to you. Make sure they repeat the address to you, so that way you're not just jumping into a car, because I'm going to give you a scenario where, especially at nighttime, you're out in the nightlife industry district and you're walking to the street to get your Uber, and then here comes a car, and they'll just say, hey, Uber. You jump in that car, and he'll take off, and then before you know it, you are somewhere getting robbed. So make sure to provide the PIN code and have them repeat you that code, right? So just be aware of those. For the most part, yellow cabs are safe, but it's just better off to have the apps. That way you give them a code, they repeat the address to where you're going, and you're going to be a lot safer. That's a great tip to have. Now, going back to the shopping and whatnot. When you're shopping and you're going abroad and you're going to other stores, and just be careful when you do leave and you get in a car. And this happened a few weeks ago, and this happened from the Tesoro mall, which is a very popular, classy mall in the Poblado area, where the lady, there was, I believe it's two ladies, they got into a yellow cab. Whether the cab was involved, who knows? Possibly, but there's no proof of it. But they went around and they came into a red light. And when they came to a red light, there was two guys on a motorcycle. They got out, and one had a gun. The other guy opened the door, took the bags, jumped on a motorcycle, left. And mind you, somebody was filming this on the back. Somebody was filming this whole time. But they did have a gun. I'm sure the people were scared and didn't want to get involved. All right. So on the other, and also, it's not just tourists getting robbed. It's Colombians getting robbed too. And this has been incrementing a lot lately. And it's just, I'm making this video strictly for awareness, because I see so many people come here. And just recently I was coming from Thailand, and I had a layover in Miami before I came to Medellin, and I was sitting next to this gentleman, and he's wearing he was wearing a two-tone Rolex Submariner, $7,000 to $10,000 watch. And I go to him, I'm like, why are you wearing like such an expensive watch? Do you know where you're going? And of course, he was like, oh, I'm from Miami, and I'm a tough guy, and I gave him, hey, listen, there are people at the airport that will target you from the minute you get out of passport control onto the area where you're going to go to get your cab or you get your transportation. And they will see what you're wearing, they see what you're carrying, and they will follow you to your hotel, specifically the Poblado area. They'll find out where you are, they'll find out your routine, and before you know it, they will rob you. Okay, so it's just a matter of like, hey, just no dar papaya. Now, these are all things that you can do to not be a target, and you'll be fine. Not be around with your phone in public and texting without knowing where you're at. Jumping into cars jumping into taxis or something where you could just use the app. Another thing is using the ATM machine. Try to use the ATM machine during the day, bright and early. Don't go to the ATM machine at 2, 3 in the morning and pull out, $1 million, 2 million pesos, where you're possibly going to be robbed. You'll be targeted. There's people who will specifically in the touristy areas see who goes into the ATM machines late at night, and they will follow you and they will rob you. So avoid all that. Now I'm going to get into something that's going to be really, really serious, and it's the women's situation, right? So a lot of men, they come here and they're picking up women from the street, or they're picking up girls that they're meeting on these apps. Tinder, Hinge, Bumble. So they're meeting these girls on these apps. They don't know who they are. They're taking them back to their hotel or Airbnb, mainly the Airbnb, because now hotels are being a lot more strict on guests coming to the hotel room. Because it's not only the hotel, it's other guests are protecting as well. So if that person is not with you upon check-in and is not registered, a lot of hotels now are not allowing that guest to enter the property. Now, some are still allowing, but they're allowing it with a hefty fee. And that fee can be 2 to 3 times more than what you actually paid on a nightly basis for that room. And they're doing this so they can discourage guests from bringing other people to the room. Now, are some hotels allowing? Yes, of course. But for the most part, a lot of people are taking back to their Airbnb because there's not much control and there's not much. Some Airbnbs don't even have a door person. They'll have a camera and there'll be just a person, giving, you'll have a pin code to the door and then, that's it. And what's happening is that they're meeting these girls on the street or from these apps. They take them back to their room. They're being drugged, and then they're being robbed. And unfortunately, like it's happened a few weeks ago, they're overdosed with whatever they're given, and some of these people are not waking up. So be smart, guys. There's no reason if that's what you're coming down here to meet women, older women, women of age. That's another whole other topic that I don't want to get into, but if you're coming here specifically for that purposes, for those reasons, then there are safe places that are monitored that you can go and meet women, and it's safe, it's monitored, they're not going to rob you, and you might pay a little bit more. It's not going to be cheap, but is your life worth, a few bucks, or is it worth paying more? I mean, hey, listen. I'm not going to mention these places. I'm not sure about YouTube and how specific they are with mentioning, but if you want to know about these places, leave me a comment. I'll have my email or my information in the description box, and I'll be more than happy to point you the right direction, because this video is mainly for awareness. I'm so tired of seeing, a Belgian, a tourist the other day got robbed in Laureles, which is a very popular area, and this woman actually gained his trust. She spent time with him a few days prior. They were intimate together. So she gained his trust. And before you know it, she waited for the right time. They had another date. And she came back to the Airbnb. And she saw the opportunity. Maybe he didn't put his things away. Maybe he left his money out. And in this case, she drugged him. He knocked out. She had 2 watches that were stolen. One of them was a Rolex, cash, phone, iPad, etc. So it was just, that's how organized this is becoming, because this is an organization. This is not just one person doing it. This is multiple people doing this. And unfortunately, it's sad, but it's happening, and I'm just so tired of hearing this every single day. Every single day there's some kind of news story coming out, whether it be French, Belgium, Australian, American, and hopefully this video, even if it reaches out to one person, it means a lot to me, because I'm helping that one person be aware. So I really don't mind about subscribing to the channel, but I do care if you like this video. So if you're watching this from your TV right now, just put that little arrow up on your phone and like the video and share it to somebody who might be coming or thinking about coming to Medellin, because this video could possibly help them, right? So I hope you find this video so far informative. So please like the video. It does help with the algorithm. It helps the video get out there, and hopefully, like I said, it can help someone coming to Colombia. So I can go on and on with this video, but I'm going to make this pretty much short and sweet, and I will be making continuous videos on awareness here in Medellin, Colombia, and I will be going other topics. There's always something new coming up, because they get creative, believe it or not. So yeah, please guys, like the video, share it. And I will be actually in a few months, in August, as a matter of fact, I am moving to Thailand for about, the plan is for a year, but it possibly could extend. I do have a 5-year visa that I'm getting, and I'm going to be taking Muay Thai and culinary and learning the language. So I'm going to be documenting the whole process and the moving, and I have 2 dogs that are coming with me. So that's extra steps I have to be taking. So if you're thinking about moving to Thailand as well, maybe you might find some of the information I'm going to provide informative. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.